Bill Gates wears a $70 Casio. Jeff Bezos, when he started showing up in public with a watch, chose a Ulysses Nardin, discreet, classic, almost unknown to those who don't know what they're looking at. And Mark Zuckerberg, always that gray T-shirt. But not just any T-shirt. It costs hundreds of dollars, custom-made, crafted from fabrics 99% of people have never even touched. This is a pattern. The true top of the chain has nothing to prove. They're not trying to impress with oversized logos or flashy pieces. Their luxury is silent. But here's the mistake most people make. They confuse simplicity with mediocrity. A billionaire isn't just wearing anything. He's wearing the right thing. In the Middle Ages, if a commoner dared to wear fine fabrics, he could be thrown in prison. Today, anyone can buy an expensive piece of clothing. But there's still a secret code among the truly wealthy. Certain brands, certain cuts, certain details that only those inside the circle recognize. You could walk past a billionaire on the street and never notice, but another billionaire would spot him immediately. What separates an ordinary man from a powerful one isn't flashiness, it's knowledge. And if you want to play this game, you need to understand the rules. Want to learn? Subscribe to Man of Elegance, turn on the notifications, and leave a like. The world already has enough sloppiness. Here, we play on a different level. Now, let's get to our list. Brunello Cucinelli, luxury that only those who know, know. You can stop anyone on the street and ask, do you know Brunello Cucinelli? Most will answer, who? Now ask a billionaire, a Silicon Valley executive, or a Hollywood actor. The reaction changes completely. That's because Cucinelli doesn't just sell clothes, he sells a code. A code that speaks volumes without saying a word. Now, look at Mark Zuckerberg. Everyone loves to mock his grey T-shirts, but what most people don't realize is that each one costs over $400 and is custom-made by Cucinelli himself. The guy could wear anything, yet he chooses a brand that insiders recognize instantly, and this is where most people get it wrong. They mistake discretion for mediocrity. They assume billionaires wear whatever because they don't care about fashion. But the truth is, they only care about what truly matters. Flawless quality, perfect fit, and fabrics that make everything else look like rags. What strategy made Brunello Cucinelli dominate the elite? Decades ago, Cucinelli borrowed $550 and set out to create something different, cashmere of the highest quality, made in Italy, with an almost artisanal approach. The result? Today, his empire is worth over $3 billion, and names like Jeff Bezos, Kevin Systrom, and Ben Affleck buy his pieces without hesitation. But here's the most interesting part. Cucinelli doesn't advertise with celebrities. He doesn't need to, because in the world of true luxury, if you need to show off to sell, you've already lost the game. So, what's the lesson for you? If you truly want to be elegant, don't walk around flaunting giant logos. Don't try to prove anything to anyone. Dress with quality, impeccable fit, and materials that speak for themselves. Those who know will notice, and those who don't, well, they were never in the game to begin with. Stefano Ricci, the luxury you've never seen, but the powerful wear. Have you ever seen someone wearing a Gucci t-shirt covered in gold prints, or a Balenciaga sneaker that looks like a deformed potato and costs a fortune? Of course you have. These brands go out of their way to shove their existence in your face. Now, how many times have you seen a Stefano Ricci suit on the street? Probably never. And that's exactly the point. Real luxury doesn't need to scream. While some brands thrive on aggressive marketing and attaching themselves to celebrities for exposure, Stefano Ricci does the opposite. They don't host influencer-packed fashion shows, they don't hand out clothes to rappers, they don't chase viral moments. CEO Nicola Ricci has made it clear, we don't put on a spectacle 24/7. We keep our distance from the fashion media circus. Now guess who wears Stefano Ricci? Billionaires, world leaders, businessmen who don't need to prove anything to anyone. Nelson Mandela wore it. Andrea Bocelli wears it. Men who, when they step into a room, don't beg for attention. They own it. Exclusivity that separates ordinary men from powerful men. The suits are made from insane fabrics like pure silk and vicuña wool, a material so rare that it can only be sheared every 3 years. Handcrafted crocodile leather, shoes built like works of art. But here's the catch. You won't find Stefano Ricci just anywhere. The brand has only a few stores worldwide, and becoming part of its clientele is a controlled experience. If you want to buy a suit, having money isn't enough. You need to be at the right level. Now the question is, do you want to be the guy who spends thousands on flashy clothes to look rich, or the guy who wears what truly matters and is only recognized by those who are part of the game? Cesare Attolini, the tailoring that separates ordinary men from true gentlemen. Have you ever seen a suit so well made that it moves with the body of the wearer? Something that doesn't stiffen the shoulders, doesn't restrict movement, yet exudes unquestionable authority. That has a name, Cesare Attolini. If you've never heard of it, that's a good sign, because it means you're about to understand what separates a man wearing a suit from a man who owns the suit. The game has changed, but the true masters have always been in control. Decades ago, tailoring followed a rigid standard, structured, heavy suits with straight, padded shoulders. It was the peak of masculine power in fashion. But there was one problem: zero comfort. Wearing a suit felt like carrying a bulletproof vest. That's when Vincenzo Attolini, Cesare's father, decided to break the rules. He created something unthinkable at the time: a lighter, more fluid suit with natural shoulders and an impeccable drape. The concept was simple yet revolutionary: looking flawless without looking like you're trying. And guess who understood this before anyone else? Hollywood. Clark Gable, Al Pacino, Denzel Washington, men who commanded every room they entered, wore Cesare Attolini. Not because it was just an expensive suit, but because it was the secret code of male elegance. The suit that commands respect, without saying a word. Today, the brand is still run by Cesare's sons, and the process remains the same. Each suit is handcrafted in a process that takes an entire day. Every stitch, every adjustment, every detail is designed to create a piece that fits like a second skin. And here's what you need to understand. Tailoring isn't about price. It's about presence. You can spend $10,000 on a poorly fitted suit and look like a cheap wedding waiter. Or you can invest in the right fit and be the man others respect the moment you walk into the room. So, what are you wearing? Something that truly represents your value? Or just fabric thrown over your body? Loro Piana, the luxury only those who matter recognize. You know when you see a well-dressed man, but you can't quite put your finger on what makes him look so impeccable? No flashy logos, no loud colors, yet he looks like he has more money than the GDP of a small country. That's because he's playing at another level, and if he truly understands the game, he's probably wearing Loro Piana. When luxury is for those who know, not for those who see, the fashion world is divided into two groups. On one side, you have those who need to scream that they're rich. These are the guys wearing Gucci in giant letters across their chest, Balenciaga with oversized sneakers, and Louis Vuitton covered in monograms from head to toe. They want the world to see their wealth. On the other side, you have the men who know they're rich and don't need to prove anything. These are the ones wearing fabrics that 99% of people have never even touched. True luxury isn't in the logo, it's in the texture, the lightness, the way the material feels, and that's where Loro Piana comes in. The Italian brand, founded in 1924, specializes in creating the finest cashmere in the world. And when I say fine, I mean the kind of fabric that makes every other coat feel like a piece of carpet. Why does this matter to you? Because while many try to buy status with loud clothing, the truly powerful invest in what no one notices from. But everyone feels up close. Bill Clinton wears Loro Piana. So does David Beckham. These are men who walk into a room and radiate sophistication without saying a single word. And the best part? It's not about a name stamped on your chest. It's about what only those at the top of the game can recognize. Kiton, the tailoring brand billionaires wear, but you've never seen. Have you ever noticed that the best-dressed men in the world never make it onto magazine most stylish lists? The reason is simple. Those who truly understand the game don't need external validation. While mainstream brands fight for attention on red carpets, Kiton takes a different path. It doesn't need to be seen because the truly wealthy already know where to find it. The tailoring brand that made the 1% ditch flashy labels. It all started in 1956 when Brioni set out to create the pinnacle of Neapolitan tailoring. But he didn't just want to make suits. He wanted to craft the best suits in the world, so he went beyond the obvious. He didn't just select the most luxurious fabrics. He founded his own tailoring school to ensure every piece was made by hands trained for perfection. The result? Each Kiton suit takes about 25 hours to produce, passing through the hands of artisans who treat every stitch like a work of art. Now ask yourself, why don't you ever see Kiton plastered all over Hollywood events? Because the men who wear this brand don't need to show off their clothes to prove they have money. You'll never see them bragging about it, because Kiton isn't about flaunting wealth, it's about belonging to the right circle. Because there's a huge difference between looking rich and dressing like a powerful man. The first buys a flashy suit, overloaded with excessive details, thinking it will impress. The second wears Kiton because he understands that true elegance is in the cut, the lightness of the fabric, and the flawless fit that only a trained eye can recognize. Brioni, the secret code of men's elegance. If a man wears just any suit, no one notices. But if a man wears Brioni, those who know instantly recognize it. And here's the interesting part. You might go your entire life without ever hearing about this brand, but you've already seen it in action. James Bond wears Brioni. I'm not talking about the over-the-top exaggerated Bond. I'm talking about Pierce Brosnan's Bond, Daniel Craig's Bond, the kind of man who walks into a casino, orders a martini, and makes everyone stop and look without saying a word. The suit that separates men from boys. Since 1945, when Nazareno Fonticoli and Gaetano Savini founded the brand in Rome, Brioni has had a simple mission: to create the best suit a man can wear. But they didn't stop there. They built a tailoring system where each piece goes through 220 handcrafted steps before it's finished. That means a Brioni suit isn't just a suit, it's a status code. Pierce Brosnan wears it, Tom Hiddleston wears it, Barack Obama wears it, and none of them wear Brioni to prove they're rich. They wear it because they understand what it represents. Some men buy suits to look elegant. Real men of power wear what effortlessly communicates their worth. What you put on your body either elevates your presence or destroys your image. So the real question is, if you had to walk into a room full of powerful men, would your suit say you belong? Now here's something crucial. Knowing which brands billionaires wear is important, but that's not enough. The real question isn't just what they wear, it's how they invest in their style. A man of power never cuts corners on key pieces. But many people make a huge mistake here, saving money on things that define their presence while wasting a fortune on things that don't matter. You might understand the game of quiet luxury, but are you investing in what truly makes a difference? Are you choosing the right items to project success? Because in the end, those who save on the wrong things pay the price of being ignored. If you want to know the 16 items a man should never save money on, watch the video right now. The link is on the screen and in the description. Now remember, this billionaires don't show off, but they never miss the details. They don't choose the most expensive, they choose the best. And if you want to play this game, you need to start seeing what most people don't. If this video helped you understand the code of quiet luxury, hit the like button and subscribe. Because elegance isn't just style. Elegance is power. And tell me in the comments, presence speaks louder than price. Do you agree?